Get ready to rock out with your talk out. It's the Loudini Rock and Roll Circus. Happy birthday,
Ooh.
you bastages.
Oh, Lord.
This foreign country was founded so that poor immigrants like myself could come and make an honest living,
Right.
not to have these foreign ice holes take away everything.
Oh, my God.
Johnny Dangerously.
I do not have that in my collection.
What?
What is wrong with me?
I know. I got to look. I think I don't know if I have it or not. I have to check it out.
Yes.
If I don't, that's a severe oversight, and
Yep.
that must be remedied.
See.
Can I have some remedy, as the Black Crows once said?
Yes, yes.
Oh, my God. Anyways, guys, welcome.
Hello,
It is
everybody.
a happy Sunday morning to all you rock ragers there, and the rest of you in podcast land. We really appreciate it. And why is that? No, we don't.
That's not what we want.
No, what do
That's
we
not
want?
how this works.
This is what
That's
we want
how
right
it
here.
works.
Okay.
And action.
All right. Somehow Andertons tried to jump in on me and
You naughty Brits.
and push their swag.
They did.
But anyways, guys,
All
welcome back. It is the Loudini. It is the Loudini Rock and Roll Circus. Happy Sunday morning to you. We are going to get into some great music in the second half. We have some cool bands coming up, some new stuff, some stuff that maybe you forgot about. That we're gonna mix it up like we've been doing that, and I think it's fun. Mr. Pittsburgh Kevin is here.
That's right. Hello, everybody.
Don't forget to go to rockrageradio.com and do all the things. Don't forget to check out Music from the 412. Go check that out and do all the things. And, of course, a big shout-out to our Facebook group. Lou Lombardi's Guitarist Inner Circle. We it's starting to build back up. It's getting more active. I just posted in there something I'd like for you guys to check out, and we could discuss a video. So check that out. You're always welcome. Come one, come all to the Midnight Ball.
Midnight
Mr.
Ball.
Pittsburgh
Yeah.
is here. Like I said, we have a cool show today. Before we get into Mr. Pittsburgh, just to kind of give you the sort of show headlights, we're going to talk about some no-nos. When it comes to gigging type situations that nobody discusses, or very few people discuss. So we're going to talk about a couple things like that. Our featured sort of topic today is going to be Norm's Rare Guitars. There's a documentary about it that came out a few years ago on Netflix. It is now on YouTube for free. So I highly recommend if this is your chance.
Free.
BOSE speakers. Do you remember BOSE speakers?
Yes, I do.
We're going to talk about a little bit about that. You know, is it all hype? Is it good? What is it? There's more Fender drama, too.
Oh, those naughty people at Fender.
So your Thomman music strikes back. Some different things are happening, so we're going to talk about that. But before I go marching forward with that, Pittsburgh Kevin.
Yes.
So what is going on? We have a sad.
Yes,
thing,
we
you
do.
want to go? You want to start sad? Let's go ahead.
Well,
Why not
we're
just
gonna- but
rip
then-
the Band-Aid
but then
off right now?
we'll get better as the moments go on. So I've been covering this story for quite a while now. Started off with 80s superstar Bonnie Tyler having an urgent medical condition where she needed surgery. Had the surgery, and they had placed her in a coma as she recovered from the surgery. And then a couple of weeks ago, I was so happy to announce that she had come out of her coma. Hooray! I was so happy. I'm like, all right, here we go. Let's get her back on her feet. And the other day, I woke up to the news that Bonnie Tyler has indeed passed away. So
it's a heartache, Mr.
It is a heartache. She was 35 years old. And it's just terrible because that's one of the lovely ladies that stirred our passions back in the day. But so sad that we've lost Bonnie Tyler. 75 years young, Lou. 75 years young.
God bless her.
God bless her, and thank you for the music, Bonnie. You will live on forever. So there.
Turn around, bright eyes. Exactly.
Indeed. So yeah, that's enough of the sadness.
Okay,
let's get on to the rest of the podcast.
Okay.
Come on.
Well,
now.
there is some sad news in the second half. When we get into talking about movies, we're going to discuss another loss that we had this week briefly, but we'll get into that later. In the meantime,
yes.
So there's a lot of things that you can learn on the guitar, right?
Right.
You can learn, you can learn chords, you can learn licks, you can learn to play all kind of different styles of music.
Yes.
You can learn to shred. You can learn to finger pick.
Yeah.
All kinds of stuff. But one of the things that musicians, not just guitarists, but guitarists, musicians, there are certain that's like book learning, as they would say. Okay,
right, exactly.
But then there are street smarts.
Oh my!
And these are just as important.
Yes.
So, when you are working, when you get hired to play, first of all, it's important for a musician, as a guitar player, as a musician, to suss out the situation. Mm-hmm. Like when you get asked to do something, you kind of have to look around and say, okay, who's the like you get asked to play in a band. You have to kind of lay back and kind of figure out, okay, who's the head honcho here?
Right.
Okay,
yeah.
and then how am I going to interact with that person?
Exactly.
And if you like the gig and you want to keep the gig, it is in your best interest to make sure that person feels fine, feels good, as much as possible.
Exactly.
You definitely do not want to do anything to undermine that person. A story that I heard recently of a guy that got a gig, with a touring act, and they were third on the bill.
Okay,
they were third.
Sure.
So they don't really get a sound check; they get a line check.
Yeah.
So you just get to kind of make sure it works. Mm-hmm. And he was not comfortable with his in-ears, and he took up a lot of time during these line checks, and the singer was not able to get his sound right.
Oh, no.
And he, after a few shows, they handed him his walking papers.
They're like, thanks, but no thanks.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So, you need to pay attention.
Right.
Also, sometimes you need to know when you might be hired to do a specific thing.
Right.
And you might think, well, I can do so much more. Keep that on the back burner unless somebody asks.
Exactly.
Another story is of a drummer that, by the way, these all could be from my own life.
Yeah.
But some of these stories are coming from Josh Ostrander on YouTube. He's got a great channel. He's a working Nashville musician, and he did a thing a few weeks ago on this. So some of these are some of his ideas, are some of the experiences he relates to. But drummer came in. There was a drum loop that had been put down, and they basically wanted him to just do that.
Okay.
They wanted that though with real drums, and not just a loop.
Sure.
And he spent a lot of time redoing things because he could do it better.
Okay.
And they, that was it. Mm-hmm. He worked on one song, and then they never called him back for anything else.
We wanted you to play the drums on this track the way we wanted you to play the drums on this track.
Yeah. And that's just and the guy was great. He was he was an excellent drummer. And maybe what he was bringing to it maybe would have sounded better, maybe it wouldn't. But the producer who was running the session was like, I already know what I want. Just do what I want, and we'll, that's what you're being paid to do. What is the job? Mm-hmm. It's like in my business, my auto business. Somebody comes in and they need brakes. They want they need brakes on their car. I don't like repaint their car. Oh, it would look better in green.
That's right.
What do you want them stupid brakes for, man?
Brakes are done, and look at this.
So you have to kind of know
Lord.
what's kind of being expected. I'll give you an example of my own. This is something that definitely happened to me. Was I was playing in a group, I will just say it. I don't care. I was playing in a Nirvana tribute thing for a while, and it wasn't a bad gig. But the person who owned the band and who was doing the singing, he and I, over time, started to butt heads. I started to get very aggravated. What had happened to me was we were in we changed practice studios, and he had me sitting in such a way where his amp was hitting directly into one ear, and it was really hard.
Yeah.
And I couldn't hear myself, and he was telling me to turn down all the time. And so I was getting really, really aggravated. And we got to the gig. So there's a couple of things that happened here. This was like the first year after the pandemic.
Okay.
And the Hard Rock Cafe, he told us this. I don't know if this is true. But he said that the Hard Rock Cafe wouldn't let us in unless we could all prove that we had the shot.
Oh, really?
So I was really pissed about that. But I was like, okay, I'm a team player. And so I went and got the shot. And then, the 2 months later, it's time to play the gig. Got the shot like in November, and the gig was in like end of January or something. And I get to the show, and I have to set up on the opposite side of the stage from him. I cannot set up next to him.
Right.
It's just not going to work. I get there, and I'm trying to set up, and they're like, no, you can't set up here. You have to go set up by him. And I was really pissed. I was like, I was really pissed. So I tried to go to the very back of the stage as I could, so I wouldn't have to be assaulted. And everybody was uncomfortable because I was pissed. And I didn't make any kind of thing about it. And I was like, I know that I'm jeopardizing my position with this gig, but at that point I was like done. Yeah. It was just completely. I don't give a fuck. I'm in a position where it isn't something I need to do for my living. You know what I mean? Like, I appreciated the extra money, but
sure.
You know what I mean? It was.
It's not worth the aggravation. Gee.
And it was Nirvana.
Yeah.
I mean, Nirvana's okay. Whatever.
Still,
but I got a very stern email.
Oh, really?
Like the gig was on a Saturday, and like Monday there was this very stern email in my email, and I did not even reply.
Really?
To it, I didn't even reply. I just completely just ignored everything from them, and just was like, fine.
Yep. There you go.
Fine. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't really care.
Yeah.
I just normally. I can be difficult to work with in music sometimes because I'm passionate, so I can be guilty of like the, some of these situations here for sure. But in my old age, I've really mellowed. But this, and so I, generally easygoing, but this situation just was like, I was just done, man. Like my ear really hurt.
Yeah, you're right.
You know what I mean?
Hand.
Like, and that was aggravating, and I didn't like, and I was just like, it's Nirvana, fuck Nirvana.
Yeah, right.
So just be aware, like, there's little things like that. Sometimes sometimes it could be the great, you could have the greatest idea, but if that's not what the gig is, that's not what the gig is.
Right.
Right. And and then there's sometimes too, you got to know when something's not working and you need to get out. Sometimes I get out by causing a big scene and getting fired.
Got to do what you got to do. I'm just saying.
Go ahead. Let's bounce back to you, Mr. Pittsburgh.
So, folks, we are recording this on July 13th. Lou, do you know what happened 41 years ago today? Oh, July 13th. I'll give you a hint. It happened in two different places.
Mr. Peanut lost his monocle. I don't know.
You are incorrect, sir. It happened two different places. One in London, one in Philadelphia.
I see London, I see France.
I see. Never mind. This was a concert called a little thing called Live Aid. It happened 41 years ago today, and I remember watching it. I was in the Army at the time, and I was at work.
Were you in the Lord's Army?
I'm still in the Lord's Army. Lord Saren. Anyway. So this concert was put together by Bob Geldof and Midge or U-R-E, all right?
Midget?
No, we can't say that. We'll say
we're not midget. We're not allowed to say midget.
We're not going to say that.
We're not allowed to say retarded either. I'm just letting everybody know. We know we're not allowed to say
However,
retarded.
Lou, I don't know if you know this. I checked with our lawyer. We can say attarded.
Attarded.
There you go. But anyway, it was organized 2 different venues, one in Philadelphia, one in London. And all the proceeds from these concerts were going to go to raise funds for the catastrophic famine in Ethiopia.
Get out of time.
Lou, I would not crap you on this one, brother. But yeah, it was real. And I remember watching it, and I remember a lot of the bands. I remember seeing, and I now have the DVD of the concerts, and I remember seeing them live, and it was just so cool. So at Wembley Stadium, you had featured acts like Queen, U2, David Bowie, Elton John, Paul McCartney, Sting, The Who, George Michael, Prince, Charles, and Princess Diana were among those.
Prince and Prince Charles.
Yes, Prince and Prince Charles, I know. I should have continued reading that. I shouldn't have stopped at Prince. But anyway, they speculated there were 72,000 attendees. Now, over here across the pond in the States, at JFK Stadium in Philly, you've got Madonna, Bob Dylan, Neil Young, Mick Jagger, Tina Turner, Tom Petty, a reunion by Led Zeppelin, and somebody we had just talked about in the last podcast, REO Speedwagon was there, and they did Roll with the Changes. So it was really fantastic. They rose from the dead. They raised over $100 million for the African famine. $1 million. Yes. And if you get a chance, folks, go on. There's 2 performances that really stuck out, and that, of course, would be Queen doing Radio Gaga, and U2 doing Bad, where Bono jumps down into the crowd to save 2 girls that were being crushed by the push of the crowd forward. But it still gives me chills to see those 2 performances. But yeah, 41 years ago today, Live Aid happened. There you go. Back to you.
Them AIDS was live.
They were live. Back to
Live
you.
Aid didn't have anything to do with AIDS. By the
No. It's like the diet candy. It was like Live Aid. They passed out candy. Everybody lost weight. It was wonderful.
That's crazy.
It is crazy. I'm sorry, but it's true.
So, can you stomach more Fender nonsense?
Oh, what's going on now? These knuckleheads.
Well, Fender is countersuing.
Oh Lord.
Thomann.
Oh brother.
And the lawsuit is a direct countermeasure to Fender's aggressive campaign of cease-and-desist letters, targeting manufacturers of the so-called S-style, Strat-style guitars. Thomann's, which has its own budget line called Harley Benton, argues that the Stratocaster shape, this is interesting, is functional. Form follows function. And largely public domain, threatening industry diversity and innovation. The legal strategy is by initiating the suit, Thomman seeks a negative declaration judgment to declare that producing S-style guitars does not infringe copyright, challenging a prior December 2025 default judgment that favored Fender. Industry impact. CEO Hans Thomman frames the act. Hans and Franz.
Yeah.
He's here to pump you up. The action. Thomman frames the action as a defense of smaller builders and retailers who lack the resources to fight Fender's legal team, urging Fender to return to cooperative partnership. The case is currently pending with no hearing scheduled and represents a rare instance of major retail suing a manufacturer. It is carried since 1954. Wow. Interesting. So there's all kind of craziness going on. So I ran across just when you think like you've heard every take on something. So I ran across a channel on YouTube that I never saw before called I Could Be Wrong. And the cat lives in Spain.
Yeah.
And he's a guitar player, and he told some very interesting stories about getting different Fender guitars over the years and how some of them were very expensive, and they still, like, years later, they could never be set up properly,
right,
and things like that. And this is an issue that Gibson has too. You know, there's a lot of people that get a Les Paul or a SG or something, and like, you know what I mean? It's always off.
Yeah. Did you get a good one?
Yeah, you always hear that. You know, that's terrible.
Get a good one, yeah.
And
You're right
then
there.
You have somebody like John Mayer, John Mayer, who says, you know, just comes right out and says, like, I can go to any music store that has like could have 10 Silver Skies on the wall.
Yeah.
I can pick up each one and they're all going to play right. They're all going to be great. You know, attention to what's that word? That's not attention to detail. What's that called? Quality control.
Quality control. That's it.
You know, is top notch.
Yeah.
And this is Fender's problem. And so he told some stories about that. Another thing he brought out was this. Was like, he's like, what is Fender really doing? Can Fender really do anything new? You know, maybe there's a couple things with some pickups and stuff like that. But you know, he was talking about, and I've heard other people. Oh, I'm so sorry, I forgot the name of your channel. You're a really good guitar player. I can't remember his name, but he was pointing out as well that you know, they keep coming up with the same guitar. They're just giving it a new name and charging another 15% each year.
Exactly. Yeah.
For it, you know, the American Standard is, you know, with the Ultra 3 or something. You know what I mean? They have
it's
these
like come on,
crazy.
It's basically the same thing.
It's basically the same thing. They really haven't. You know, they have done some over the years. Done some innovation with the electronics. Some people really love the lace sense pickups. I mean, you know, that was innovation on Fender's part, you know, but they can't really. What are they going to come up with? And and one of the things they seem to be doing instead is these like so this I could be wrong, called it fashion brands. These gimmick guitars, like they did the Hello Kitty, these different things like that. And is that what the hell is that? You know, it's just like I think I think some of their amplifiers, they've done some really cool stuff. I think that the Jack White, the Jack White line, I don't remember what it's called, but the amplifiers and the guitars, I think are pretty cool. Yeah. But they haven't really come out with something that's like. What about those? They did do that. Remember that acoustic electric they had? Oh, they have a Strat and a Tele and an offset.
Yeah, what's it called? Stratocaster or something like that. Yeah,
and
I thought they were kind of cool.
A lot of people liked them for a while. Now there's a kind of backlash against them. I played with a guy that used one of those. I thought it was the biggest piece of crap. He was like, "You should get one too." We'll have this. I'm like, "No,
it's so expensive too."
I'm not getting one.
I'm like, what? Yeah.
It was so. And then finally, he talks about chenders and chibsons.
Ah, yes.
And these guitars are getting better and better and better all the time. So I'm kind of wondering if this could be something that is scaring Fender a little bit.
Might be.
You know, the idea that, you know, you make a guitar and there's about 20 other companies at least that make that guitar better and at a better cost.
Right.
You know, is that really everybody else's fault?
Yeah.
You know, it's. I think that you could have kept. I think that like people would have been, no, man, I want Fender on my headstock, and because it is the absolute best, an American-made Fender Stratocaster, Telecaster, whatever is the. I mean, it's bar none. Yeah, it's bar none. There's nothing that can be. That's how they should do that.
Right.
No, they're making a Hello Kitty.
Yeah.
Guitars, and so some of these replica brands that are coming out of China and places like that are really good. Apparently, I have a Chibson that I bought about 3 years ago, and from what I'm hearing, is that like the new ones, they're a little bit more money. Yeah. So like the $179 Les Paul doesn't exist, but there's a $299 that will knock your socks off.
Right.
It's like really, really good. And you might say, well, you know, now you're getting an Epiphone. Yeah, but no. It has the right headstock on it.
Yeah.
You know, that Epiphone that you would buy would not be the $300 or $400 Epiphone, it would be like the $600 or $700.
Exactly.
Epiphone.
Yes.
So even there, so they are really, trying to give people that experience for like a lot less money. And the tariffs came and then the tariffs went. Mm-hmm. So there are tariffs now, but they're way less than when the tariffs first got introduced a few months ago. So it's still it can be a viable option, and I think that this does have Fender scared.
Yeah, I think you're right.
But they're going, in my opinion, doing the wrong thing. Mm-hmm. Their CEO should have come out and said, you know what, we look stupid. Everybody makes a better Stratocaster. That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
We invented the damn thing. We're going to make the greatest Stratocaster at the best value that anybody has. And if we got to do it, if we have to do it in Indonesia, or we've got to do it in Japan, or we've got to do it in Korea, that's where we'll do it. But they're going to be, these guitars are going to come off the line, and they are going to I want to hear, I'm going to make John Mayer eat his words.
Exactly.
That's the attitude. That's the attitude the CEO of Fender should have.
Right.
Not like, oh my God, what are you gonna do? Oh, we'll just sue everybody.
Yeah, you're blaming everybody else for your problems.
Yeah, exactly.
Fix your problems.
Absolutely.
Jeez.
OPP, other people's problems.
That's right, man.
So you do something now. You talk.
I'm going to talk now.
You talk now.
Hey, listen here. I'm going to talk.
Okay.
Finally, we've been talking about this for the last couple of podcasts. There's a
couple of podcasts.
Exactly. There's a YouTube channel called Sapulpa Guitar Academy, and they've been doing episodes on Eddie Van Halen, the PV years. And Lou and I have talked about this a lot in the past, what a fool PV was letting Eddie Van Halen go. Well, let's talk about that, because episode 3 is up, and here we go. So Ed wanted a 5150 head with 3 channels, and each channel has its own set of controls. His thing was, why should I be running 3 channels but only have one master volume? What if
one set of tone controls, right?
Yeah, exactly. I can kind of see that. Okay, so PV's like,
now you're in now, but you know who does that?
Everybody
does that very well. Is Mesa. That's their whole thing.
Yeah.
But go ahead.
Exactly. So they were going to build this new amp head. It was going to be called the 5150-2. Okay, not the 5152, 5150-2. All right, very good. So PV's like, all right, this is going to be the new 5150, the 5150-2. But Ed's like, oh, no. I want you to still produce the 5150 and the 5152. They're like, well, what sense does that make? He says, well, here's what's going to happen. Like, the people that love the 5150, they're not going to really go for the 5152.
Correct.
And vice versa. PV's like, fine. Okay, fine. So he also wanted to update the 5150 combo. He had some ideas for the combo. And this is kind of interesting. He wanted to produce a 5150 mini stack. Do you remember the Marshall mini stacks? Look, I owned one. It was a lot of fun, but essentially it was a toy, right? It's like, 10, 15 watts or whatever. And Ed's like, well, I want that, but I want it 5150, and I don't want it to be a toy. I want it to be a really good practice amp. I want it to be like 60 watts, 40 to 60 watts. And so PV's like, all right, let's start developing these things. So, so they started developing them. Okay, now here's the thing. Things are going on with Ed at this time. Van Halen 3... not well received, the album. Ed around this time had been diagnosed with cancer, and he and Valerie had separated, so he had some shit going on in his own life.
Times is hard, Eugene.
Exactly right. And Ed kind of started taking this shit out on PV. He started bad talking the PVs, the guitars, saying that the build quality of the Wolfgang was horrible. He claimed to have gone to PV, the factory, grabbed a production guitar, torn it apart in the boardroom, reassembled it himself, and then he threw it across the boardroom. And when he picked it up and played it, it was still perfectly in tune, no problems with it. And he said, "This is how every guitar should come off the assembly line that's going out to, to a music store. So when a kid buys
I heard
it,
a variation on this story, but yeah, go ahead.
Here's the thing. PV doesn't have a boardroom. Nobody remembers him ever coming to PV and doing anything like that. So Ed started to talk some smack.
Oh, like Les Paul.
That's the first thing I thought of. I'm like, okay, that's awesome.
Sorry, man. That's another thing. I was talking about no-nos, on the gig.
Uh-huh.
Stretching the truth on shit like that.
That's not, especially if it could be backed up. It was verified though that Ed did come in and express his displeasure with the quilt tops that they were putting on the Wolfgangs. And he would come in and just fling a bunch of the maple tops, just like throw them around. He'd scuff them up and scratch them, so obviously they can't be used. Now, I did not mention these guys in my previous report, so I want to mention them now. Jim DeCola was basically in charge of the guitars.
Was he related to Coca DeCola?
Yes. And here we go. James Brown. No, not that James Brown.
Things James Brown says.
How that make you feel? James Brown was in charge of the amps. And these two guys worked very closely with Ed and put up with all of his shits, working hours, working days without taking a break. And so I wanted to mention those two guys, Jim DeCola, James Brown. And it got to the point where like Eddie was getting a little pissed off because not only were they dealing with his particular things, they were also running the factory. They weren't specifically for Eddie Van Halen.
So he was.
So
Eddie still was treating them like they were his personal.
Exactly.
The personal guitar and amp makers to the king.
Exactly. And it just wasn't working. And there's times where he's like, one of the either one of those guys would be like, we really can't get around to that today. I will get to it, Ed. And Eddie would get pissed off. Now, here's the other thing. There was a point where PV, one of the reasons they wanted to work with Ed was they wanted to bring in other artists. Hey, look, Eddie's dealing with them. I want to deal with them too. And they started working with Joe Satriani on his amp. PV does a Joe Satriani amp.
Oh, yeah.
That's right? And unfortunately, you're going to find this hard to believe, Ed, none too pleased with that because he was now not the king.
He was sharing.
I mean? Yes. So,
oh my God! I'm sorry, man. I love Eddie Van Halen, but you're kind of being
he's getting
a
little bit of a dick. So Jim DeCola and James Brown eventually did leave PV to pursue other opportunities, and this left Ed without his preferred guitar and amp builders. Okay, so in 2024, PV and
they're like, we'll go to work for Court. Just to get away from this maniac.
The fuck away, right? Well, in 2004, PV and Van Halen did part ways. Now, Jim DeCola went to work for Fender. And once he got there, they're like, hey, you did a lot of work on the Eddie Van Halen stuff. What can we do to get Eddie away from PV? This is before he and PV had parted ways. And DeCola says, look, the only way you're going to get Eddie away from them is by stroking his ego and giving him his own brand. Not a signature guitar, not a signature amp, not a, inspired by. You have to give him his own brand. And that's how the EVH brand.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah,
great
and that's
story.
how they. So that's exactly what they did. But yeah, Eddie and PV, and I have a feeling PV was probably kind of happy to send him on his way because he was such a thorn in their side. I saw the last. I don't know if it was NAMM, but Ed came in to tout the new Wolfgang at the time, and this was his last appearance with PV, and he looked like he had just rolled out of bed. He did not look good at all, and he's just not really talking up the guitar, and somebody in the audience says, hey, play us something, and he picked up the guitar, faced away from the audience, and literally fucked around with the amp, make some noise, played a little bit, I think, of Mean Streets, hit the guitar accidentally against the mic stand, and said something about, look how good these guitars are. You can beat the hell out of them and they still play well. And with that, he took the guitar off and walked off stage, and it's the last time he ever appeared with PV in public. Yeah. So it did not go well at the end. But nonetheless, I guess Eddie got what he wanted. He wanted his own brand, and sure enough, Fender gave it to him. But yeah, so that's how it all ended. But I have a feeling that PV, in the back of their minds, they're like, thank God. Hey, Joe Satriani, what can we do for you now?
Yeah, that Joe Satriani amp is like modeled in a lot of like these whatever fractal neural DSP. Like that's a very popular amp.
Yeah.
Like you get these internet, well, not internet, computer based amplitude and those type of things. They have that amp modeled in there. It's really well loved.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's cool. Interesting. Good work there, Mr. Pittsburgh.
Thank you very
I
much.
like that.
Yes, now we know.
Now we know. And now we know. So
yes.
So I saw this video by Art of Guitar. Art
of Guitar.
And he was telling a story about going to see his nephew do his first show.
Okay.
It was at a showcase, and his nephew had to play. He played a solo acoustic set in between two like full bands.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, and he said that that it was his first gig ever, and he was nervous, but he did okay. And of course, when he got up to perform, the first thing that happened was the mic stuff didn't work right. They had to play around with it,
Of course.
So he got broke in real good.
Yep.
But he was saying that his him, and I don't know who else went. I don't know if his wife went with him or whatever. Maybe some other family. And they said they were sitting a few tables back, and he said these guys came in. He said these two people came in, sat in front of them. Now they were at the table that was right in front of the stage, and they proceeded during his set. They proceeded to do nothing but scroll on their phones. So this kid's up there. It's doing his first show, and the first thing when you look down and sees is two people completely ignoring him, scrolling through, on their phones. So I wanted to throw that out to you to kind of get your sort of like take on a situation like I get like at a big concert or something like it's probably not going to bother. They're not even noticing. But, you go to something like that, in a situation like this. What are your sort of thoughts on that?
Yeah, anytime I go see a show, I will say I did record a couple of the songs at AC/DC because it's fucking AC/DC, right? But other than that, I don't record at shows. And I've played shows where you look down and there's a full table of people sitting there scrolling through their phones. And you're like, oh, why am I even doing this? So that should be a no-no for the audience. 9. But yeah, that's no bueno. No bueno.
I don't think there's any way to stop it.
No, you can't. It's a sign of the times.
It's, I don't think there's any way to stop it. Some of the, so he said that he posted this story in a Reddit forum or something like that, and he said he was surprised at how many people were like, well, the kids should have been good enough to pull their attention away from their phones. That just means that he sucked, and everything. And no, I think it says I people do that at big shows. Mm-hmm. You'll of course, and it's just a sort of what's the word I want? Like a symptom or a sign of our society right now.
Yeah,
people are they get into and it is a very hypnotic world.
Oh yeah,
it's very hypnotic. It really can suck you in. I mean, I never was ever at risk of my phone dying. Usually, except when I'm scrolling on TikTok or Reels.
Oh yeah, it'll suck your battery dry.
That, and it's so easy to just wake up and go like, "Holy shit! It's been an hour and a half.
Yeah,
like, what is going?" I could have watched a movie. I could have done like anything else, and it just it really is. And then when you come out of it, do you ever notice this? You scroll for a while, then when you put it down, like real life feels weird or something.
Yeah, you're like,
like what's going on here? Like you feel like I don't know how to explain it, man. It's like evil, dude.
Yeah.
I think it might be kind of evil, but yeah, it's just as a society, I'm hoping that somehow we start to. Did you see the lady that gave the commencement speech at some big university? And she said, the AI revolution is the new industrial revolution, and everybody booed.
Exactly.
Everybody booed her. I think that we're going to start to see. Yeah. And we already seen it, the return of vinyl records and things like that. Mm-hmm. I think we're going to have a return to more organic experience. It is so. The only way now you can tell when something is AI or not, it's not AI if there are mistakes.
Right.
Somebody trips over their words or says the same sentence twice accidentally,
or quite fit.
Something you know what I mean, or they're slightly awkward or whatever. And it's and people, those types of creators are gaining a lot more traction because people feel like they're being duped.
Exactly.
When it's AI, it's like a cheat, or like you're being lied to, or somebody's like pulling something, trying to pull a fast one on you or something. So I think that we might be seeing that. And also, we talked a few weeks ago. Rick Beato finally discovered, after 20 years, that bands are still a thing. And
yes.
So it has reached the attention of the great Rick Beato. So maybe this is going to be something too. Because there's nothing as organic as four guys in a room arguing about how to write a song or put a song together, who should play what. Yeah, absolutely.
Exactly.
So, yeah, I just thought I would, kind of float that. I don't like it, but something else is going to have to happen. That's going to have to kind of find a way to go away on its own. I don't know how to explain it. I don't think that one of the things that he suggested was, and he showed clips of this, stand-up comedians, they will call people out.
Yeah.
So maybe if you can do it in a funny way, maybe you can combat
make people
that.
aware of it. What they're doing.
You make people aware of it and do it with like humor.
Yeah.
Might be something.
We'll see.
What else you got?
That's it.
What?
That's it from my end.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I know.
Oh my God. So do you remember the speakers? Mm-hmm. These speakers actually came out I believe, in the late 60s originally.
Okay.
That's how far back they go.
Wow.
The BOSE speakers?
Sure.
And Armand BOSE was a young man that graduated from MIT, and as a reward to himself, he went and bought the best stereo system with the best speakers he could find.
All right.
And he was terribly disappointed in the sound. His thing was this. He likes the symphony and he likes orchestras.
Okay.
That kind of music.
Sure.
And so when I go to the orchestra, the stereo should make that sound. The stereo is not making that sound. It doesn't sound like that at all. I want it to sound like
I'm there
when I'm there at the thing.
Symphony hall.
Yeah. So he proceeded, and he spent a lot of time researching and developing, and he was an audio engineer. That's what his degree was in. I believe he even was a doctorate, if I'm not mistaken. And he spent some time and created this speaker system called the BOSE, the 90L, the 9001. I can't remember. It has a number.
Okay.
But it ran for years and years. That same. You know what I'm talking about. They were brown. Yeah. They sat on stands.
Right. Yes.
Yes. Those things ran. They made those things from 1972 or something like that to 2016. That's how long they're very popular. You probably can find them in pawn shops and stuff like that, probably for a lot. But when they came out, they were $1,400.
Yes.
In 1970s money.
Right.
So if you went to somebody's house and they had that, you were like, whoa, dude.
Whoa, you're serious about this.
Yeah, exactly. So, but check this out. Audiophiles thought that those speakers sounded like crap. And at first you might go, okay, that's like sour grapes, right?
Exactly.
You know what I mean? These other companies, Klipsch and these, different companies, Sony, they just had sour grapes over this and, la, 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 la. No. Here's the thing that you have to understand about audiophiles. Audiophiles, when they put a record onto their system, they're not listening to the record. They're listening to their system.
Right.
They buy records that specifically will bring out certain characteristics in their audio system.
Okay.
So, and they're not as interested in the actual emotional content of the music, or being moved by the music, or being, as other people, more people who love music, who want to play good music, want to hear good music. So they were complaining about things like the stereo field isn't real defined. Like they felt like, in the right, if the violinist is on the right side and the second cellist is on your left, like you should be able to distinctly hear them on the different sides.
Yes.
They were looking for certain frequency responses in the upper and in the lower, things that would really be really amplified and really be brought out with great sonic detail. And that is the opposite of what Armand Bose was trying to accomplish. He didn't care about any of that. He wanted it to sound like, when I go to hear the orchestra, I want that experience in my living room.
Okay.
So he did things like aimed most of the speakers out the back, so you were to put it in a corner and pull it so far from the wall, and you would get, because when you go hear live music, very little, like when you're listening to a band live, you're not hearing the guitar player's amp. Okay, you're hearing the guitar player's amp probably mic'd and through the PA system, but you're also hearing it all that reflected,
bouncing off the
and some of the frequencies are absorbed by the bodies of the people that are in the, what I mean, and certain surfaces reflect certain frequencies, other surfaces reflect other different frequencies, and so this is one of the reasons why we've talked about this before. The amp in the room sound is like so elusive,
right?
Because like what room, it could be a million things. So this was what Bose was trying to accomplish, and when you bought the speaker system, it came with an amplifier that had EQ on it, and they would tell you how to set that to maximize for the size of your room or whatever, and you could play around with it to your taste. From what I understand, it didn't do much without that. Like if you just plugged it into your speakers, they actually didn't really sound good at all. But if you use that, then you could get a very lifelike sound. Right. The stereo field was not going to be super defined because we're not doing that. We're actually looking for reflected sound. Where it's not going to be super directional like that. And I thought that was just really, really interesting. They still make things out. They were the first company that make noise-canceling headphones.
Right.
He was flying from London to New York, and they gave him those little ear things on the airplane, and he could not hear over the roar of the engine. He couldn't hear the music. So as he was sitting there, he got out a notebook and a pencil, and he sketched the first noise-canceling headphones.
Yeah, it's very cool. So
he was like, really, really innovative guy. Again, controversial because audiophiles, that's not what they're looking for.
Yeah.
But I think most people that got those systems enjoyed them. I
knew people.
I dated a girl whose stepfather, he had one of those set up, and I thought it sounded really nice. Yeah. What it did not do, I don't think, was like that really, like if you really wanted to crank and get that thump in, what I mean, bow shaking bass, it didn't really do that, but they sounded great. Especially like moderate, low, moderate, and like moderately loud. They did the job really, really well. It sounded great. Do you ever have any experience with those? Did you ever have the Bose or listen to that Bose radio? Remember, it was
I think a girlfriend had one.
Same thing. I dated somebody that had one, and it sounded neat.
It sounded really good.
Sounded good.
Yeah. I was in the service with the guy, and we reconnected on Facebook years and years later, and he worked for Bose, and he's like, if you ever want a system, let me know. I will get you the system with my discount. And I was a college student at the time or whatever, or I had a family, didn't have the money to throw around, but man, maybe I should have taken him up on that offer.
Yeah, there's that's a kind of a lost thing right now, but I love mine. I have an old Techniques stereo, that I have up there, but I don't have it hooked up. I'm using a an amplifier that I found on Amazon for like $59, and I thought it might be better, and quite frankly, I don't think it's good at all, and I am going to swap them out.
Are you?
I'm going to swap them out for the Techniques, because the Techniques, I had that down here for a long time, and that sounded like a really good stereo system. And that's what I want. I want it to sound like a good stereo system. And that stuff is all available. You can go to pawn shops and find a lot of that stuff very moderately priced in really good condition.
Oh yeah.
Now there are things that are super sought after. Of course, that are
right,
audiophiles, so to speak, or people that collect that, or that's going to be a lot more money.
Yeah.
But you can find, if you want a decent stereo system, easily gotten.
Definitely.
So let's talk about our featured one of our featured topics today is Norm's the documentary about Norm's rare guitars. Now, you were telling me, Mr. Pittsburgh, this debuted on Netflix?
Yeah, in 2024. Matter of fact, I made a special. I didn't have Netflix. So I made a special trip down to my daughter's place because she had the Netflix, and I plopped myself down in front of the TV. So I saw it when it first came out on Netflix, and it was really good. Always been a fan of Norm. I think at that point, I had read I had a couple of his books. I read his last book, Confessions of a Vintage Guitar Dealer. That was really insightful. And he touches on some of the same stories in this documentary. But we'll talk about the documentary here.
So, do you want to tell them who Norm Harris is?
I think I should, Lou. Norm Harris is a fella who actually is a musician, and he and his band went to California to look for gigs and hopefully a record deal. This is back in the 70s. And he had two guys in the band. They both played guitar and bass, but neither one had a bass. So Norm took it upon himself to peruse the classifieds. Ended up getting, I believe it was a 61 jazz bass. I think it was a 61 jazz bass. And paid $50 for it. Now, granted, this is in the 70s, and it was a used guitar. It was a used bass. And every time they played out, everybody loved that bass, and they wanted to buy it off the band, right? So Norm starts thinking there might be something to like perusing the classifieds or whatever, and so that is how he got started buying old guitars. At the time, they were old guitars. They were used guitars. They weren't vintage. I'm making the air quotes here. They weren't vintage at the time, but as time went on, turned out he was able to buy these guitars. People didn't know what they had, and then he was able to turn around and make a nice little profit. So that's how Norm Harris started. He has a world famous shop in, I believe, is it Van Nuys in California, and to this day he goes out and finds these wonderful vintage guitars. And one
of the things I found, one of the stories I thought was really interesting was how he financed his business. He got this a line on a somebody called up, said, I got this guitar I want to sell for $35, and it was a Gibson acoustic from the 30s.
Yeah, they wanted $25 for it.
Right, and so he got it, and on the way home he got into a car accident, and he got rear-ended.
Yes.
And the guitar was smashed.
Yes.
And so his insurance agent was like, we got to come up with some. So I can't remember how it was. Somebody said,
well, he had taken the day he bought the guitar for $20. He took it to his buddy who knew something about old guitars.
Okay.
And he's like, wow, that's hey, Norm, you got yourself a really good guitar. So like you said, the next day he was rear-ended, and the insurance company actually contacted his friend.
Okay. That's how it was.
Yes. And the friend is like, that's a rare guitar from the 30s. It's worth $1,200. So he spent $20 one day and got an insurance check for $1,200 the next day, and that's when Norm knew, hey, there's something to this.
There's Providence.
Yes,
Providence. He went and they bought a bunch of guitars and started. And since then, like, you know, people would call up and so they were renting out of his house for a really long time with his wife.
Yeah.
I mean, one of the things that's really funny about the documentary is they make no joke. I mean, make no bones about the fact that he was a total pothead. You know what I mean? It's just out there. It's just out there.
Exactly.
Yeah, he has a very patient wife.
God bless her.
And they got to, but they were running this thing out of their house.
Yeah.
It was like a 3-bedroom apartment.
Apartment.
They were using most of the apartment. They were living in one bedroom.
2 bedrooms were filled with guitars.
Yeah, and the rest of the house too. Mm-hmm. And people started showing up and bringing other people. Like, who was it? Bob Dylan showed up, or what? Somebody brought George Harrison showed up and ended up bringing Bob Dylan.
So here's the story.
Well, I know the story about we told the story about the George Harrison Les Paul.
Yeah.
We've heard that story before, but I was trying. What was the thing about? Somebody brought somebody.
Oh, the guy from the band.
Robbie Robertson brought Bob Dylan.
Yeah. That is awesome.
You know, yeah, and so like it kind of snowballed.
But he treated people with respect and everything, and word of mouth, man. This is long before the internet, and it was very cool.
What's his name, Kevin? Jay. Played in Fleetwood Mac. He was he became like an editor or something for Guitar Player magazine.
Oh yeah, that was like the first Jay Fudge, not
Jay
Fudge.
He was in Fleetwood Mac.
Oh my gosh.
I can't remember his name.
I can't remember the name either.
Is it listed here? I can't see him. I don't see him.
No, I don't see him.
Rick Vito. What am I saying? Jay. Rick Vito.
No wonder I was confused.
It's Rick Vito. Rick Vito.
There he is. Okay,
was started writing articles for Guitar Player magazine.
Yeah,
and he wrote an article about Norms, and this like really put them on the map. That's when everybody. But he didn't just sell to celebrities and stuff. He sold to anybody that, you know. And he also, they were a regular guitar shop. Like they had stuff that like you could just you
could afford.
Yeah, you could afford.
Yeah.
Kiefer Sutherland is heavily featured in the in the documentary. He's in it quite a bit, and he's a major guitarist. Who's the stand-up comedian? You know what I'm talking about? He's a stand-up comedian. He's been on Rogan. He says he's scruffy looking. I thought it was Eddie Trunk when I first saw when I first saw him. You know what I'm talking about?
Oh my gosh, I can't.
Yeah. I can't remember, but he's really good at what's his name? Speaking of actors,
Jeff Bridges, Bridges, Jeff Daniels.
Jeff Daniels,
he's in there. Yeah,
from Dumb and Dumber. Yeah, he's in there. He's a major guitar enthusiast.
Mm-hmm.
You know, one of their ethos is to put the right guitar in the hands of the right guy.
Exactly.
And these guitars have all these guitars have major stories behind them.
Oh yeah.
And one of the things that one of the reasons why I always love buying used guitars is because you get something that already has a story. It already has somebody that loved it and played it. Yes. And some of my favorite guitars, like I got, had been played very heavily. Like the guitar I have right now, this PRS. I mean, these guitars, the finish on these guitars really doesn't wear. But this guy, he has like major buckle rash on the back of it.
End,
kind of like, it's not like Rory Gallagher's guitar where the finish is all the way up. No. But
it's been played.
Yes, it's definitely been played. Yeah. And there's just something that I really. What about you? Do you like that or?
Oh, I love that. I have a couple of guitars that are used, like my Bride of Frankenstein, which is a late 90s Epiphone Black Beauty, and it has a neck repair, and the hardware has a nice patina to it. Even my triple pickup Gibson Les Paul Classic has got some wear to it, and it's beginning to weather check, which I love that. I'm like, nice. But I like a guitar to have some wear to it because, like you said, it's been played, it's been used, it's got stories.
some of the folks that come through in the documentary of Slash, Joe Bonamassa,
of course,
Richie Sambora, Vince Gill, Robbie Robertson. This is some of his final interviews, by the way.
Yeah, I know.
Before he passed away, Mike Campbell, John Five, Orianthi. Actually, there's a funny story about Orianthi and Richie Sambora showing up together, and them jamming, and they didn't even know they were being recorded. And it was the first YouTube video of Norm's that got like 1 million views or something like that, you know.
Yeah, they were trying out Telecasters. I remember the video,
Lenny Kravitz, Melissa Etheridge, John Oates, Marcus King. So this was Marcus King's debut. He went on there. Nobody had heard him, and he went on there. And they thought he was really good. So when they hear somebody like playing on a guitar and they think they're really good, they'll say, "Hey, like, you mind if we set up something? Record you do something?" And they didn't know he was going to sing. They didn't know he was going to sing.
Surprise,
and
motherfuckers!
He opens his mouth to sing, and everybody got chills.
Yes.
And that dude that used to work for Gibson, who works for Norm's now, he was like, I knew this is like once in a lifetime kind of talent. You just don't. That man, we've had this discussion before. You know, you come over, we're talking like, is Marcus King a better guitar player or a better singer?
Yeah, and it's like,
I mean, that man's voice is like, it's like a little slice of heaven.
Yep.
Marty Stewart, the amazing country singer and guitar player. Dave Amato, who was in REO Speedwagon through the final part of that band. Frankie Sullivan from Survivor.
Yeah.
Dan Estrin from Hoobastank.
Ooh.
Rick Vito, as I mentioned, from Fleetwood Mac. Tim Pierce, the amazing Tim Pierce, who's played on everybody's records. He was Rick Springfield's guitar player.
Oh, okay.
For many years live. Taylor Goldsmith from Dawes. Taylor Hawkins is actually in it.
Yeah.
Sean Stockman from Boyz II Men. I didn't even know anybody in Boyz II Men played guitar, but that's cool. So Vince Gill is in it a whole bunch. But there is a scene, because Rick, when they start talking about, he has warehouses full of things. And so there's a scene where he's showing Vince Gill, they're back in the warehouse, and he's showing a guitar to Vince that he thinks Vince will like. And there's a woman there. And she turns around and looks at the camera very briefly, and it's Amy Grant.
Oh my God, that's right.
I'm like, okay, you go, girl. I like Amy Grant. Like, I love you, Amy Grant. Did you hear what happened to her? She had a really bad biking accident.
Oh no!
And like lost part of her brain and all kinds of stuff. Yeah. She looks good. I don't know if she had to have facial reconstruction surgery, but I saw a podcast interview with her, and it took her a long time before she would get back into writing music and everything like that. It was really interesting. God, God bless you, Amy Grant. But
was it Jeff Garlin you were trying to think of, the comedian?
Yeah.
Yep, Jeff Garlin. Yeah.
Yeah, there he is, Jeff Garlin.
There he is. Okay.
Max Greenfield, Frank Stallone is in it a whole bunch.
Yeah, of course, Frank. Yeah.
Yeah, they're good friends. Machine Gun Kelly.
Yeah.
What's his name too? Who's the guy?
Was Post Malone?
Post Malone.
Yeah, Post Malone's in the.
Is it Post Malone? Is it his band that showed up there when they were really young, and they had somebody had stolen the guitar?
Yes.
And they were able to get another guitar just like it.
Right.
There.
Yeah. It's such a cool, and let's talk about Norm real quick. What a humanitarian he is. He donates so much money. I can't remember.
He doesn't eat any humans.
No, that's the nice thing. But,
humanitarian. Okay.
Yeah, not you. Not a. He's not a cannibal anymore. But he donates a lot of. Is it the city mission or something like that, helping the homeless? So
Midnight.
The Midnight...
Midnight Maniac. That's not Midnight Midnight Mass. That's not Midnight Mass.
Is it the Midnight Mission?
Midnight Mission.
Yeah, that's what it is. I know. Yeah. So
he got a lot of celebrities to participate in that.
Yeah.
He used, let's talk about how he shaped movie history.
Hells yeah.
So there's a lot of movies, not just Back to the Future. We talked about the Back to the Future guitar.
Sure.
And he said I told them This guitar wasn't invented yet, but okay. I'm just letting you know.
Yeah.
The scene in This Is Spinal Tap.
That's all his guitar.
That's all his stuff right there in that room. That's absolutely amazing. And there's a bunch of other movies.
Yeah.
Like it's pretty much anytime you see a movie, the Buddy Holly story.
Sure.
Right there. There's like La Bamba. Like anytime you see it, those are Norm's guitars.
Exactly.
Now they didn't mention this, and maybe you know the guitar that got smashed on the set of Hateful Eight. Was that a Norm guitar?
No, that was actually on loan from the Martin Museum.
Oh.
Yes.
Good. Norm wasn't involved in that one. Norm, you dodged the bullet on that one.
Or he could have made a lot of money. I don't know. I'm just saying. Oh man.
So anyway, so it's super fun. Some people, his wife suggested that Joe Bonamassa might want to take over the business since as a kind of epilogue.
Yeah.
To the story, and you guys should go watch the documentaries for free on YouTube. You really enjoy it.
Yes.
Is an epilogue to the story is that he had they didn't have at the time of the documentary, he didn't have what they call an exit strategy. Now he has some health problems, and I'm not going to get into it. You can see that's in the thing, that's in the documentary. But his daughter comes on, and says, she's like, I love this because it was my dad's, but that's his. Like it's not really. I'm not passionate about the way he is, and I don't feel like I could do justice. And I respected her so much because it had been very easy to say, "No, I'll take it over." There's all these celebrities around all the time. It's gonna be super cool. La la la. It's probably a lot of money. Blah 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 blah. But she didn't do that. And so what ended up happening was he created a relationship with. Go ahead, Kevin. You want to tell him about it?
It's a Carter's vintage guitars.
Carter vintage. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And they actually purchased it.
Yeah.
And Norm is a kind of staying on as a.
Yeah. If you walk into Norm's today, you'll see Norm will be there. So he's still very much a part of Norm's rare guitars. But God forbid anything happened to him, he has been thoughtful enough to kind of put things into place where the place won't just close.
Yeah, and I think that Carter Vintage is a. They're very serious about vintage guitars.
I was very happy when I found out they got involved.
I'm glad Guitar Center didn't buy it,
exactly,
or Sweetwater or something like that. I'm not dogging on those companies at all, but
those are businesses.
Yeah,
it's
they
not
just,
a passion.
Yeah,
like
exactly. I think you're making a good point.
Yeah,
I think you're really making a great point with that. So I think that it ended up in the right hands,
definitely,
if you will, with that.
Exactly.
So we're done, you guys. We're gonna, those of you listening on Rock Rage, stick around. We got some great music coming up for you guys. Let me see who do we have. Maybe I can give the kids a little preview, so you'll stick around.
A little taste.
We got Jack White,
nice.
The New Tropics, Trigger Finger, Harsh, Fuel.
Ooh.
So we got some good ones coming up here. So stick around. Go to Lou Lombardi's Guitarist Inner Circle on Facebook. Join our private group. There is no nonsense, no ads, no AI. It's just people hanging out, talking about guitar. So that's cool. And music. Mm-hmm. We love it. We love it all. There. Don't forget to patronize rockrageradio.com and musicfromthe412.com. Mr. Pittsburgh.
Yes.
What is your...
And Jens can find me on the old TikTok at Pittsburgh Kevin is where you can find me on the old TikTok.
And you can find me on TikTok at Loudini Rocks.
Yes.
Guys, thanks so much, man. It was a good time.
Yeah.
Those of you who listen on Rock Rage Radio, stick around. We got some great music coming up for you. To everybody else, have a great week. We'll catch you on the next Loudini Rock and Roll Circus.
See ya.